Setting myself a little challenge this morning. I haven't had a challenge for a while. I'm going to look for a butterfly's egg. The butterfly in question is the brown Argus, and the egg of the brown Argus is just under a millimetre in size. And if you want to know where I'm going to look for it, it's in here. Might seem like a mighty and impossible task, but it's not as difficult as you might expect. I can narrow it down to the likely place to find this butterfly's egg, and that's on the field edge. Right where the grass ends and just before the Phacelia starts, that's the area that I'm going to be concentrating. I'm going to walk up and down this strip. Eggs are laid on dove's foot cranesbill, and I came here yesterday and I know that there were two butterflies, two brown Argus, one really tatty and one absolutely immaculate. And if you're careful about where you look, choose your plants on which to look, you can find the eggs of the brown Argus. The eggs are laid on the underside. So that's the plan, that's the general idea. It's a nice day for it. Got one. We've got a larva. Now the female brown Argus does give us some indication as to the best places and the best plants to look, and quite often it's the perhaps weediest and least strongest of plants that she will lay her eggs on. Sometimes it's just the seedlings that they will lay on, but on this plant here there are some visual signs too. Visual signs that the larva has hatched and is feeding. And the feeding signs are these pale, almost transparent areas of the leaf. Those little blotches there are the feeding signs of the brown Argus caterpillar. Now the caterpillar I'm going to show you isn't on that leaf. There are two eggs on that leaf, but there is a caterpillar, probably second instar, underneath here. So here's our leaf with the larva underneath it. There's just a hint of a couple of windows there, but they do move around, and if I can turn this over and we keep it in focus, there is the larva just on the midrib of that part of the leaf there. It's probably just under 2 millimeters, only just. You can find needles in haystacks if you know where to look. So I'm just holding the leaf there, just bending it back, and you can see the small larva of the brown Argus. They get to about third instar and then they pass the winter. But they've done really well on the edge of this field, and I am quite surprised that they're fairly easy to find, and So they've proved, but that's the caterpillar on this particular plant, but there are others, no doubt. And here's the leaf with eggs underneath it. I thought there was only a couple at first, but there are a number of eggs here, and they've all hatched. There are 2, 3, 4 and 5, 2 at the top of the leaf that are together, and then 3 elsewhere on the leaf. All have hatched, and they often do this. I've seen it before where females, I've seen up to 8 eggs on one single leaf, but you can see where the eggs have hatched, the caterpillars are fed, and now they're elsewhere on this particular plant. But this isn't the only plant that has brown Argus eggs on. And if we look at this plant just a few yards away from the one we were looking at, under this leaf here is a larva. If I can just carefully bend this back, right where the leaf joins the petiole, tucked in there is that larva. Again, only about 2 millimeters, maybe just short of 2 millimeters. Doesn't look much, does it? You probably didn't believe that these things could be found. Yeah, here it is. Recently moved onto here probably because there are feeding signs. Just look under here and under here. You say usually it's the weediest of leaves. Ah, see, there's an egg. Top of the leaf, an egg that has hatched. If we look at the others, nothing under that one. Ah, here we have an egg which hasn't hatched. Right, just there. That little pale blue egg, less than a millimetre. It's probably only, for a butterfly egg, this is tiny. It's probably at 0.6, 0.7 millimetres in length. And here's a little bit closer of that egg. Tiny, tiny little things. So you can imagine the size of the larva that hatches out from it. But the eggs, like most of the blues and coppers, are beautifully sculptured. They're absolutely fabulous things. And this one, so you can see that it's complete, it hasn't hatched, and only laid fairly recently. And here's another larva, just on the sort of midrib of that lobe of the leaf. And judge by how easy it's been to find these eggs and these larvae, the butterfly has done really well. I've seen a number of adults over the last month or so, and say September the 29th, still flying. And no doubt egg laying too. This field of Phacelia over the last few months has provided some great entertainment for me. But it's hard to imagine that a butterfly which in the 1980s I'd always associated with areas of downland in the Chilterns and the like, and that's where we used to have to go in order to see brown Argus in them days. And then in the 1990s it started to reappear in Nottinghamshire, and it wasn't too long before the Eakring area recorded its first brown Argus, well, probably ever, as far as I could ascertain from records. And now here it is on a field edge, and it's had a really good year this year and still is having a good year. I've not seen the adults today, which I saw yesterday, but as you can see, the evidence of those adults and what they've left behind in terms of their offspring is easy to find. All it takes is a little bit of effort and a willingness to record the earlier stages, and I'm just trying to show that you can go out and find these things. They're not the impossible task that most people would assume. Hopefully there should be a number of brown Argus here next year, because this field of Phacelia is here next year too. I can't wait for that. But even now, the scent and the colour of the regrowth of this Phacelia is absolutely beautiful.